Monday morning, it's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world. Yes, oil prices, Middle East, rearing its ugly head here on this Monday morning. Get you updated on that here in just a few minutes. More food-related issues out there, and it just continues to happen here and with our food supply. We'll get into that a little bit as well here on this Monday. Plus, lots of local stories coming your way. And if you're an Oreo fan, I don't know how excited you are about some new flavors, but I got that coming up right here at the end of this segment. And folks, let's get right into it with that Market Watch. And like I said, basically what's happening today, investors are waiting for some retailers to do their reporting this week. Walmart and Target post their second quarter earnings this week. So do Home Depot and Lowe's. Why is that being watched? Well, retail sales, according to the government reportings, were down for July. So we'll see what the actual individual companies are, and retail expectations is kind of bleak out there going into this as well. Oil prices have risen this morning. Iran says it's working with Oman on a plan to manage the transit of ships through the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump came out this morning and said, well, he'll bomb Oman if they interfere with any ceasefires between the U.S. and Iran as well. All of that's happening here on the market. Brent crude, by the way, which is the international standard, it's up 1.1% here right before showtime. $89.50 per barrel is where that is looking, and you can see what all that is doing to the market here this morning. Dow Jones right now down 93 points, 53,614. The S&P 500 is down 6 points to 7774. The Nasdaq's up 3 points right now to 26,732. And then the Russell 2K, it's down 13 points to 3,056 for that small cap index. Then you got Bitcoin out there. Well, it's up today, 726 points, but here in that mid 63,000 range, 63,559 for Bitcoin here on this Monday. Stocks we're paying attention to right now. Well, we're going to look at memory stocks to begin the show. The first one we'll look at is SanDisk out there. And they're up 7% here today as well. And a lot of these memory stocks are up this morning because U.S. Commerce Secretary, that's Howard Lutnick, he told the Wall Street Journal in an interview that the Trump administration opposes Apple from buying Chinese memory chips. If Apple's not able to, for pricing reasons, right, they just had a price increase because of the increase in pricing and the demand here on these memory chips. If Apple's not able to go buy Chinese memory chips, obviously domestic memory chips would benefit from that move as well, or that lack of the move out there. So that's why these are up. SanDisk up 7.23% right now. Western Digital's the next stock we'll look at, 5.97% up. And then there's Micron Technologies, also up today, 4.24% for Micron. And then finally, we'll look at Seagate Technology, a little bonus stock here in this segment, 2.02% up right now for Seagate Technology. So memory stocks having a good Monday based off of restrictions being put on Apple here with being able to, not buy Chinese stocks out there. When we come back later and look at stocks, we're going to look at Intel, Alibaba, which is, of course, a Chinese company out there, kind of the Amazon of that area. Well, their U.S. stock is making some waves here today with an announcement out there as well with what they are doing. We'll look at that coming up as well. And like I said, Middle East is a big concern here with the oil prices and everything around the Strait of Hormuz. Well, we'll have to see where that goes. So let's turn our attention to business stuff out there. And Meta, as we told you last week, is starting this big trial over in California. Opening arguments begin tomorrow in that trial. This is the one where California Attorney General is leading it against Meta. Now, this is all about the allegations that the company fostered addictive behavior in teens and also children. Well, the jury was seated last week, and this is the one that's up in Oakland as well. The trial involves a coalition of 29 states' attorney generals. Now, this is a unified case with these attorney generals against Meta that was brought back in 2023. So these will be argued by lawyers representing California, Colorado, New Jersey, and Kentucky specifically. The other states have kind of jumped onto this as well. Now, these are huge stakes we've learned with Meta, and it's probably bigger than even we are thinking at this moment, at least if you believe the hype going into this as well. Right? Leading government officials across the country are pushing for Meta to be held accountable for allegedly violating federal and state laws. Things around the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, specifically other consumer protection statutes as well. Industry experts are calling the Metas, this is their big tobacco moment, right? Meta needs a big stand here. If they lose this, remember if you anybody around in the 1990s when big tobacco was attacked in these ways, they ended up losing some of those lawsuits and kind of broke it up as well. So Meta is they're viewing this as the big tobacco moment for Meta right now as well. So all and that big tobacco was all about safety and potential harms of their products on people and kids specifically and everything. And then it basically broke up big tobacco, waned on their influence. That happened here on the social media side as well. We already know Meta's lost a couple cases of recounting this. Like last month, or it was end of July, I believe, or maybe it was early August. But Meta lost a case in New Mexico that's going to require them to make some changes to its services. But then they also need to pay just about $1 billion was the amount fined to them as well. Now, the problem is New Mexico. I'm not knocking New Mexico here, although New Mexicoans are going to think I am. But New Mexico does not wield the power. They do not wield the influence that California does when it comes to these types of issues out there. So anything that happens in California would lead to a much steeper penalties, a bigger, broader overhaul of their business as well. And this is why it's stepping up from the New Mexico side into California. Now, the New Mexico AG, just won that court deal, and he told CNBC that the consequences could be astronomical for a company that gets 98% of its revenue from online advertising. If you restrict kids being on the Meta platform, by the way, like they just got rid of 700,000 plus accounts in Australia. That's 700,000 less advertising potentials there. Price on advertising goes down as well. This is where they're attacking Meta is literally their revenue sources here. If this comes through. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, CEO of Meta, he's relying on the cash generated by that ad business, which is dominant in that field, to fund the massive bet on artificial intelligence, right? Their capital expenditure on the AI side of things is basically the value of the company. And now if you have to, go and, basically the AI side is about $145 billion. But then if you start adding in, billion-dollar lawsuits, I was reading over the weekend that some people are projecting if Meta loses this, like it was $1 billion in New Mexico, people are saying the fines and everything could go up to $1 trillion if they lose this here in California as well. So this is a big trial starting tomorrow, officially opening arguments coming up for Meta, and one to keep your eye on out there. Could change the whole industry because if this is happening to Meta, it's going to happen to all the other social media sites as well out there. And as I said earlier, right, we had the lettuce issue, and then it moved to jalapenos and cilantro and other items to that with Taylor Farms. Well, now the FDA last week escalated a recall of $1.6 million cartons of eggs all over salmonella contamination. Now, we told you about this story last week, but we've got some updates here for you as well. So, last Wednesday, the FDA designated the incident as a Class 1 recall, which applies to product recalls in which there's a realistic probability that the use of or exposure to a volatile product will cause serious adverse health consequences or even death. It's a serious level here as well. Now, these were first recalled back on July 22nd by North Manchester, Indiana, company called Midwest Poultry Services. Basically, they're saying they could be contaminated with salmonella. They were sold under various brands, names, and retailers across the U.S. We knew this last week, and we know that 19 million eggs, as an update, have been recalled from Texas farms between June 6th and July 3rd. Now, the recall products have sell by or best by dates, whichever they do it there, between July 20th and August 17th. So that's the update. 19 million eggs. Well, we got the areas they're at. So for those of us in Arizona where the show's recorded at, we're okay as of now. If you're in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, you are not as okay. I think Mississippi's on the list, but even New Mexico, for those of you watching us from those areas, and Oklahoma, pay attention. Watch your eggs because those are the areas with the salmonella, possible salmonella-filled eggs there as well. So if you want more information, if you're in those areas, obviously just Google it. But since I brought the story without those details last week, we got it over the weekend. I thought I should pass it along that those of us in Arizona, well, reportedly, we're safe here. We'll have to wait and see if any new updates come up as well. Do you remember last week when authorities announced the security alert over avocado farming and avocados coming to the U.S. from Mexico? Well, authorities announced the lifting of that U.S. security alert there as well. 8 days after the alert, shut down the avocado farming there in the, of course, you see the name, right, and you mess it up. Michoacan state down there in Mexico. Now, Mexican troops deployed into that region, and the U.S. put that alert out there that no avocados can come in. Mainly, they couldn't be inspected. But now, like I said, the U.S. authorities fully lifted the restrictions that spurred the producers to shut down operations, and now exports have officially resumed. That area of Mexico, the Michoacan, well, it's Mexico's main avocado producing state. It's a region where four cartels designated by the Trump administration are designated as terrorist organizations. And four cartels operate in that area. And believe it or not, it's not just illegal drugs and things that they go after. It's also avocados as well. Get kind of caught up in those cartels' shenanigans. U.S. inspectors have been assaulted or temporarily detained in the past while inspecting avocados, which, of course, when that happens, it triggered similar export suspensions at those times. This one was because one of the cartel's leaders was caught, and so they were worried for some retaliation happening out there, is what we're being told now. On some occasions for those inspectors, threats arose after inspectors detected pests or were pressured not to report on the pests that they found as well. Well, the U.S. Embassy does not usually provide details about incidents, but with the shutdown of the avocados, it kind of puts some information out there. We do know as well inspectors have less of a presence in the actual orchards. Those are located in isolated hills where armed groups operate with little interference, and then the inspectors now concentrate specifically on packing plants now for those avocados coming into the U.S. And a large amount of the U.S. avocados, folks, comes from this region. So if you're an avocado fan, I guess you don't have to worry. You're going to get your avocados. I guess the bad side of it is, are they going to be inspected? Is what you have to look at out there as well. And folks, it's Monday morning, and I got these bad stories coming your way, right? The things we got to pay attention to. Here's my, I guess you could say, good story for you out there. Make you feel a little better about yourself. Maybe. That's right. Do me a favor. Check your couch cushions today. Maybe underneath your car seat when you get to work if you're driving and listening to us. That's right, because Lamborghini on Friday launched the Revuelto SV, the limited edition hybrid version of that V12 holy cow, Revoluto, and it's the fastest and most powerful car built at the factory. So this model is the latest Lamborghini in that storied SV line. That's the line that began 55 years ago with the Miura SV. I should not look at these words, folks, all right? It showcased lighter, more aerodynamic, even more powerful versions of its flagship supercars. This new hybrid supercar gets an electrified boost to add to the adrenaline and the emotions of driving a Lambo. That's what it says. The Lambo was saying last week. Obviously, Lamborghini is going to only make 1,963 of these Revolutos SVs. I'm trying, folks. The supercar starts at, are you ready? Drum roll, please. $741,172. Check your seat cushions now. The insurance payment alone on that is more than what most of us can afford. This SV aims to be a fusion of the most advanced technology, but also the luxury and speed sports cars enthusiasts seek out. Now, being a hybrid, it gives you that regular Lamborghini engine feel, but a little burst of electric side as well. Yeah. So it starts with Lamborghini's naturally aspirated V12 engine. Then it adds 3 electric motors to boost the power to more than 1,050 horsepower. It can go from 0 to 62 miles per hour, just 2.4 seconds, folks. So I don't know why that story is supposed to make you feel good, because none of us can afford it. But trying to find some positive spins there on Lamborghini. The other thing is, right, they've tried the EV models that have failed miserably for these high-end sports car makers. So now hybrid versions, they're hoping and banking their time on as well. And folks, couple food things coming for you. The one later in the show is going to be for tomorrow, giving you a heads up on a big day tomorrow. But right now, yeah, we're going to talk a little Oreo here. And I don't know who's asking for this. Maybe you are. But according to USA Today, they were exclusively unveiled with Oreo's new flavors. Yeah, Oreo is launching 3 new limited edition cookie flavors at once. And they're going to let you, the fans, vote for your favorite one. The winning flavor will be brought back in 2027. Yeah, USA Today got this exclusive. We got this from them. The 3 new flavors. Are you ready, folks? Oreo banana pudding cookies. Now, this features layers of sweet banana and vanilla pudding in a deliciously delectable dual-layered cream sandwiched between vanilla wafer cookies. Oreo deep-fried cookies feature iconic golden fried doughy flavor baked into the cookie itself, with fried dough-flavored cookies wrapping layers of dark chocolate and fried dough-flavored cream. How do both of those sound for you? Anybody interested in that? What about the Oreo chicken and waffle cookies? Feature a signature waffle texture and embossment, a dual-layered cream, both infused with sweet and savory flour notes for a fried chicken and maple syrup flavor in every bite. That one intrigues me a little bit, but in an Oreo? Interesting. So starting today, all 3 flavors, Monday, August 17th, all 3 flavors will be available for pre-sale at Oreo.com/unwrapthecolumn is what they says there. If you go to Oreo site, there's also a place you can click right there. There's a link. They are advertising it. Trust me, I've already checked it out this weekend. But if you don't want to do that, well, you can find them on the TikTok shop as well. So in that news release, they say you can shop for those packs on TikTok at Snackworks TikTok shop storefront. Now, limited quantities, while supplies last, because they made them. They want you to try them and then vote on which one you like, and the winner will come back. The cookies will roll out to grocery and retail stores if you prefer that method, but you have to wait another week here, Monday, August 24th, for a limited time while supplies last as well. So Oreo, new flavors if you're interested. To me, maybe the only one I'd look at would be the chicken and waffle one. But that tastes in an Oreo. We'll have to see. But Oreo fans, don't let me influence you out there. Run with what you want to try as well. When we come back here at McCollum on Business, we do have another food story coming your way. It's for tomorrow. Some big things happening tomorrow. We'll tell you about that coming up, but also local stories you need to know. Come on back. It's McCollum on Business. We're back here, McCollum on business here on this Monday. Having some fun here on this Monday as well. As for some reason on Mondays, we come in here after a weekend and everything's just working a little bit off. We struggle through our Mondays sometimes, and we're going to get there. And me today is just talking with some of these Italian words for Lamborghini out there as well. At least no medical terms today I got to worry about. But hey, you just saw our commercials for our shows and our programming here as well at TME Media AZ. And of course, you can follow us on TME Media AZ on X as well. You're watching us live right now on YouTube, TME Media AZ as well. As soon as we're done here, also live from 8 to 10 a.m., well, the main event coming your way. Me and 17-year NFL veteran Del Hellestree get you going on the weekends and get you caught up over the weekend sports as well. Live here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, either this program or the main event, catch us on demand any time of the day out there. Free podcast system for all of our shows except for McCollum on Business. Just search the show name, right? The main event with Steven, the main event with Dale, the pit stop, or even the Real Matrix, their free podcast system. It'll come right up for you. And on any of your ways you listen to podcasts out there for the audio versions, all of our programming goes up on demand on YouTube, TME Media AZ, and over on Rumble for those of you that have reached out and say you don't like YouTube. Well, there's the other option for you out there. And also, exclusive to Rumble, well, the Real Matrix is exclusive to Rumble as well. Rumble.com/user/TME Media, where you can find the Real Matrix and all of our programming over there as well. We just put everything up since we're utilizing it for the Real Matrix anyhow. A new episode of the Real Matrix came out on Friday at noon. New one this week as well. We're in the middle. We got 2 Fauci episodes coming your way. The Angry Patriot gets you updated on Dr. Fauci's exploits out there. First episode in that was last Friday at noon. That is up now. A new episode this weekend, this Friday, coming up at noon as well. And we appreciate everybody catching whatever programming we do and put out here as well. And well, with all that being said, let's get right into that Market Watch. It's just going to be a tough Monday morning with Middle East stuff. Investors are waiting for some retail companies to do their announcements this week, like Target, Walmart reporting this week, Home Depot and Lowe's also reporting this week. So kind of what we're waiting on here, and then oil prices jumping about 1 to 1.2% here this morning, based off of the announcements out there in the Middle East of Oman and Iran working on deals, and the U.S. now saying that if we'll bomb Iran or we'll bomb Oman if they get involved with Iran. Yeah, I'm causing those oil prices to go up here on this Monday. All of that being said, Dow Jones down the 141 points right now. S&P 500's down the 10 points as well. The Nasdaq's down 20 points as we're looking at it here at the 7:30 area here of this Monday morning. Then the Russell 2K 12 points down for 3,057 for it. Bitcoin is up today, 743 points, but in that mid 63,000 range, 63,581 for Bitcoin here today as well. Stocks we're paying attention to in this segment, we just got 2 for you. First one is Intel out there, obviously a big presence here in Arizona, specifically down in that Chandler area, 0.96% up right now. Well, it was revealed their CEO, Lip-Bu Tan, he purchased more than 105,000 shares of Intel stock last week, and he bought it at $95 a piece. Obviously trading today at $103.70 right now. He did that Friday. This was announced on Friday after the Bell and an SEC commission filing, a SEC filing there out there. If an executive is buying stocks, that means some good things could be coming. At least that's the thought process. Intel's up to 1.19% right now based off of that news. And then Alibaba, which is a Chinese company similar to Amazon out there. Their American stock here today, at least on the U.S. Stock Exchange, 0.06% up right now for Alibaba here today. Now, why is this being watched today? Well, Reuters reported that they are set on selling its game developer business. That's a company called Lindsay Games, is that company. They say Reuters says this Lindsay Games is expected to be sold for more than $2 billion to a private equity firm called TrueStar Capital. Alibaba's up based on that news of unloading the game developer business here on this Monday morning as well. The gaming business right now is kind of in a phase of either being EA just got sold to a private equity company backed by the Saudis, and now this developer business from Alibaba is being sold to a private equity company. Big changes coming on the gaming side of the world here in 2026. Here's the year does go on as well. Now let's get into a couple local stories here for you as well, and we'll get into something you're going to want to make a note of for tomorrow, especially with the heat we're having again. Right, we're going to be 111, 112 all week, according to the meteorologist that talked to me through my television or radio. Yeah, the U.S. Navy said on Monday it had been awarded. It had awarded RTX specifically, but their business unit, Raytheon, down there in Tucson, a $22.9 billion contract. So basically, yeah, boost the output of Tomahawk missiles that's been depleted with this war in Iran out there as well. We know that the U.S. has supplied large amounts of arms to allies, but also using a lot of these arms in this Iran conflict as well. So the inventory levels of these types of weapons are big concerns here across the world, let alone here in the United States. Now, no details were given of how much Tomahawk production would actually increase by or the length of the contract either. But Raytheon down in Tucson, that's a division, a unit of RTX, which is based out of, I believe, Virginia, but over there in the East Coast. So, Tucson, some more business coming your way as well with Raytheon. And then another local company, but this one's not doing well. And this is interesting because they're everywhere, at least here in the Phoenix area. Yeah. Leslie's Inc., right? Leslie's Pool Store, as what we know it as. Well, it's a publicly traded national pool retailer and supplier on the market, of course, based here in Phoenix as well. And executives have come out and said they're looking for ways to settle their debts, which basically means they're looking for a buyer, either selling all or part of the company in order for them to pay their debts as well. The the company has been financially struggling. Bloomberg reported earlier this summer that it was looking at filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Well, doesn't help, right, with those rumors and everything when they released disappointing fiscal third quarter financial results on August 12th. And its stock is now under $1. Their stock went down over 40% on Thursday alone, trading under that dollar. Yeah. How bad is it for Leslie's? Well, for the quarter, their quarter ran April through July. Leslie's revenue was $458.5 million, 8.4% less than it was the same quarter a year ago. Yeah, they reported that its comparable sales decreased 6.2% as well. And Leslie's has a couple problems. I do shop there a lot for my pools and some rental property pools and things to that we got here. There's two problems with Leslie's that I've seen for a lot of years. They're at the mercy of their vendors, the chemical vendors as well as the parts vendors out there, Hayward, etc. You get in a fight with a vendor doesn't like you, which happened to Leslie's last year. They pull everything from your stores and you can't sell those products, which leads you into the other side. Plus, right, pool pumps aren't made in America, so you're running into the tariff situation on imports. And everything got expensive quickly for Leslie's out there. So Leslie's revenue is down from them as well. And gosh, they're on every street corner, it seems like, out there. So we'll have to see. Local company, hate to see it go away. Employees, good amount of people here in the Valley, but they got to figure out this business model and get their debts paid off so they can stay around. Or who's going to step in and buy them is kind of the question out there. Now, the SRP's, board, let's put it that way, the controlling board back in April, well, A clean energy slate narrowly won control of that board last April. Well, with the resignation, well, did they lose that clean energy side? Meaning, right? People favored the clean energy. That they were the majority on the board. Well, Maricopa County Supervisor Thomas Galvin, he was officially sworn in to fill the vacancy on SRP's governing boards last week. Now, Nick Brown is the one. He was a solar advocate. He was part of that clean energy slate we were just talking about. And the clean energy won in the elections in April as well. Two of their members did. Now, Brown resigned. Said he wants to spend more time with his family and everything. But with Brown, that clean energy side of it, well, they held an 8-6 majority on the SRP district board. Yeah. As I said, I know two members got voted on, if I remember correctly, backed by Turning Point USA, by the way, as well. Or they beat out the candidates from Turning Point USA for the clean slate side as well out there. It was a high turnout election for an SRP board. Remember, there was lines of people out there going to vote on this on an election that rarely is this big. Yeah. It's like, what is happening? Now, Galvin was tapped to replace Brown when he resigned. So Galvin says he's certainly not a Turning Point endorsee, but he's also not a clean energy team either. He actually took a swipe when he was talking, when he got getting sworn in. He took a swipe at both Turning Point and the clean energy slate. He did that during the April election time as well. He even went so far to say, "I'm not part of any slate." That was his exact quote. If you don't know, SRP is governed by a 14-member board of directors, a 30-member council as well. The 7 board members who aren't part of the Clean Energy Board, including Galvin, are not committed to the same pro-renewable energy agenda, which means, are we going to get less solar, less battery installations from SRP, less solar farms from SRP out in the desert feeding some things? Are we going to get less of those now? We'll have to sit here and pay attention. And what does that mean for our rates as well coming our way? Hey, new state data shows employment related to tourism actually increased in Arizona between 2024 and 2025. Domestic travel to the state actually fell during that same time frame. The Arizona Office of Tourism, they came out with the numbers that 326,359 jobs were directly or indirectly related to travel in the state. That's about a 0.5% jump compared to the year before, 2024. Tourism tax revenue jumped about a similar percentage points. At the same time, though, as I told you, domestic overnight travel fell by 1.7%, went down to about 40 million visitors. The state did not report how international visits changed, because that's usually a big number here. But they did say they accounted for about 12% of the total tourism that came into the state. Most U.S. tourists came from California, New York, and Florida. Well, Mexico, Canada, and the U.K. brought the most international travelers. And we know Canada has been down for a lot of political reasons, among other things. So we didn't get those exact numbers, but tourism down, but jobs and revenue up. Does that mean they're spending more when they come down here? We'll have to see. And folks, I want you to take a note for tomorrow, August 18th. I'm telling you a day ahead of time, so you're prepared for it. You can get a free icy. It's National Icy Day tomorrow, folks. You can get a free small icy at about 1,800 locations nationwide for those of you watching us throughout the United States. So Walmart, fuel, and convenient locations, participating ones, you can get them there as well. When you buy a ticket for a movie at AMC Theaters or Regal Cinemas, you can get an icy there. If you're around the Urban Air Adventure Park locations, well, you can get free icy there as well. So now for the movie theater, you have to buy a ticket to a movie. Then you get the free icy as well. Icy came out in a press release and said, for decades, Icy has been part of unforgettable moments for millions of fans. And National Icy Day is our way of thanking everyone who has made the brand part of those memories. That's right. A small, though. Only a small. They said, we're excited to introduce an annual tradition people can look forward to every August, whether it's your first Icy or your 100th. It's a chance to celebrate the generations of fans who have made Icy part of their lives while creating new memories together. There you go. Once you get your free Icy, you can be entered for a chance to win prizes, including an at-home Icy machine, which I do believe I saw Buc-ee's sell those when I was at Buc-ee's a few weeks ago as well. Of course, that has the beaver logo on it out there. Yeah. Yeah, all you have to do is after you get your free Icy tomorrow, share your on your Instagram or Facebook story that day with your free Icy, and you have to use a hashtag NID 2026 out there as well. You have to tag the Icy company. Yeah, if you need that stuff, just Google Icy free Icy Day giveaway, and it'll give you that how to do it as well. Coming up there for Icy. Now, what's the difference between Icy and Slurpee? Right? Kind of makes you think that. Once they're both brands, I guess, out there. Because 7-Eleven's National Slurpee Day is on July 11th. Yeah. Well, here's how I understand the difference in the companies are. Let me see if I can screw this up. I have it in front of me. There's a gentleman that founded what became the Icy Company. He sold bottles of Coke, partly frozen, at his Dairy Queen franchise in Kansas. That's how that got started. In 1962, he patented what he called the Icy machine, built with the help of a manufacturing firm out there. 7-Eleven bought the machines, licensed the frozen drink, and in 1965, that's when they started calling its version of the drink the Slurpee. Yeah. There's a difference between Icy and Slurpee. Seem identical to me. I don't know about you guys out there as well. But make notes for tomorrow. That is a big day out there. Ethan said, I'm down to drive to that college, or drive to college, or drive that to college, meaning the Lamborghini earlier in the show, folks. Ethan, you want two? we'll spend a cool $1.4 million for you to drive that that's Lambo to school. Ann says, I prefer a slush puppy over either an Icy or a Slurpee. All solid. Slush puppies are good also. I'm more of a Slurpee fan than an Icy fan, to be honest with you. I really am. I mean, hard, or even a slush puppy. It's hard to poo-poo. I'm not gonna, hit you if you give me one of the three. I ain't gonna lie to you there. Now the flavors are what you got to mix into it. When you go to 7-Eleven, you can mix the Coke and the cherry, or Coke and the lemonade to get your flavors out there, folks. When we come back tomorrow, 7 a.m. live here on McCollum on Business, we'll get you updated on what's happening. Right, we're waiting for Target, Walmart. We're figuring out this Middle East situation. Home Depot and Lowe's this week. I have some feelings retail numbers are going to be a little skirtish and scare the market here coming up. We'll have to see. Now, it's for the whole quarter. We know the numbers got bad in retail sales in July. We'll have to see what the whole quarter is, but could be a long week, folks. Keep updated with us here at McCollum on Business. Coming up next, the main event. Come and join us, folks.